Hi there, I'm Ryan Capaccio, co-founder of Simplicity Trading Systems. Welcome to the Black 2 Signal tutorial, a beginner's guide to identifying partial rebounds back to recent highs. The Black 2 signal is just one of 7 signals offered in the Endeavor add-on for Metastock. When all the signals are used together, you'll be able to predict the future movements of your favorite securities. Now, let's get started. So, what are Black 2 signals? Well, simply put, Black 2 signals represent price making a partial rebound after a substantial pullback from a high. Price is likely to move up and test the projected target range below the high. This means you'll know exactly how far up your swing trade will move before you have to exit. Our Black 2 signal will do all the work for you. So the question is, how do you find them? You begin by opening the Power Console inside Metastock and clicking the P icon in the top left corner of the screen. From there are 2 ways to bring up a securities chart. The first way, if you know the ticker symbol, simply enter it into the Instrument section. For our example, we're going to use ticker symbol STAR.K. Then make sure your range is set to Load Default Records and Display is set to 500 records. And click Open Chart in the bottom right-hand corner. Your chart will then open. If you're wondering what time frame these charts are in, we use daily bar charts, which means every bar in the chart represents one trading day. We recommend that you use daily charts when using Endeavor. Now, to show the second way to open a chart, we're going to go back into the Power Console and click the Explorer tab on the left-hand side. The Explorer function is used to scan a list of securities and identify the criteria you're looking for. For instance, we're looking for a list of stocks that have a Black 2 signal and are in a position to make a partial rebound back to recent highs. Simply select Endeavor Black 2 and remember to make sure the Data Loading section is set to Records to Load 500. Then select the list you want to run the scan on. I'm going to use our client stock list. This is a custom list created by the Simplicity team that is available to all of our subscribers. The list is populated with hand-picked securities that have an excellent track record when used with the Endeavor colors. If you need a copy of this list, simply send an email to about@simplicitytradingsystems.com and a member of our team will send the list to you. Next, click the Start Exploration button in the bottom right corner. When the scan is complete, click the Reports button. Then choose from a list of securities. For this example, I'll select ticker symbol STAR.K and click the Open Chart button in the top right corner. Now that our chart is open, we need to apply our Endeavor and Discovery template to see which category price is in. To do this, simply right-click on the chart and click Apply Template. Then scroll all the way down to STS Endeavor and Discovery Template. Next, click the Apply button in the bottom right corner. You'll notice there's now a ribbon on the bottom of your chart that shows price in the Endeavor category. If you applied the template and received an error message, that's because Endeavor requires a security to have a minimum of 201 trading days to begin working, so it won't work on any new IPO until the minimum number of days is met. After the ribbon appears on the bottom of your chart, our next step is to apply our Black 2 signal. To do this, click the Expert Advisor icon on the top of the screen. Then select Endeavor Black 2 and click the Attach button. Next, close the Expert Advisor window. You'll notice a Black 2 signal will appear on your chart, along with an alert box informing us that Black 2 occurred and price is likely to make a partial rebound and move up to test the PTR, projected target range, below the most recent high once the TP, trigger point, has been crossed. Check Black 2's commentary for the trigger point and smart getouts. After you've read the message, click the OK button. The next step is to bring up our commentary so we can identify our trigger point and smart getouts. To bring up the commentary, click View in the top left corner and select Expert Commentary. When the commentary window opens, you'll find a wide variety of useful information, starting with the definition of Black 2, along with the guidelines required to confirm the signal. Let's take a look at the information one section at a time, starting with the definition of Black 2. Black 2 signals represent price making a partial rebound after a substantial pullback from a high. Price is likely to move up and test the projected target range below the high once the trigger point has been crossed. Now, the definition of Black 2 refers to a few terms that you may not be familiar with: projected target range and trigger point. Projected target range, or PTR, identifies how high price can rise before an exit is recommended. Black 2's projected target range will be automatically determined. Trigger point, or TP, is a price that, if crossed, confirms the signal. Now, no action should be considered until the TP is crossed. We use trigger points to help prevent us from getting whipsawed when entering a trade. The next section in the commentary is labeled Smart Getouts that apply to Black 2. This is a quick reminder of the two smart getouts that are used when analyzing partial rebound movements. PTR, which you may remember from earlier, stands for projected target range and is made up of two figures that identify how high price can rise before an exit is necessary. If price enters inside or above the figures, an exit is recommended. DEP, which stands for Defined Exit Point, is a price located below the colored signal that represents an exit level. If price falls below this level, an exit is necessary. Next, we have our Black 2 date, which shows the date on the chart where the Black 2 signal occurred. Below the date, you'll find the trigger point, which is the most important piece of information in the commentary. Our trigger point is 1156. Remember, for a Black 2 signal to be confirmed, price must cross the trigger point. Now, to get a better idea of how far price has to rise to cross the trigger point, let's mark 1156 on the chart with the horizontal black line. To do this, simply click the horizontal line icon on the left-hand side. Place the line anywhere in the chart, then double-click on it. Type in the value of the trigger point, 1156, and if you want to choose the color of your line, select Color and Style. Then click OK. You'll notice a line has appeared on the chart that represents 1156, and I've also added the price on top of the black line for your reference. Now that we know our trigger point, let's scroll down in the commentary to the projected target range, so we can identify where price is likely to move up to if our trigger point is crossed. Remember, the projected target range, also known as PTR, is made up of two figures that identify how high price can rise before an exit is necessary. If price enters inside or above these figures, an exit is recommended. Now, to get a better idea of how far above the trigger point our projected target range is, let's mark 1223 through 1197 on the chart with horizontal red lines. To begin, click the horizontal line icon on the left-hand side. Place the line anywhere in the chart, then double-click on it. And type in 1223 in the value section. Then click OK. A new line, which I've made red, has appeared on the chart. I've also added the price of 1223 on top of the line for your reference. Now that we have our top projection, we have to add the bottom projection. Select the horizontal line icon again. Place the line anywhere in the chart, then double-click on it. And type in 1197 in the value section. Then click OK. Again, a new red line has appeared on the chart, and I have added the price of 1197 on top of it. We now have our projected target range of 1197 through 1223 marked on our chart, so we know how high price is likely to rise if the trigger point is crossed. Now that we know the upside projection, we need to identify our downside risk. To do this, we continue scrolling down in the commentary to the defined exit point, also referred to as DEP. Remember, the defined exit point is a price located below the colored signal that represents an exit level. If price falls below this level, an exit is necessary. let's mark the figure on our chart. Select the horizontal line icon, then double-click on it. And type in 1122 in the value section. I'm also going to use the Color and Style tab to choose a red dotted line to represent the figure on the chart. Then click OK. A new dotted line has appeared on the chart, and I have added the price of 1122 underneath it. We now have our downside risk clearly marked on our chart, so we know the exact price our trade should be exited if price falls after taking out the trigger point. Now, throughout this process, I've used a few terms that you may not be familiar with, terms that mainly pertain to the smart get-outs. It is not necessary to memorize any of the definitions that we've discussed. If you continue scrolling down in the commentary, you'll find a section called Smart Get-Outs that apply to Black 2. In this section, we've provided the definitions of all the unfamiliar terms, as well as a link to more tutorial videos like the one you're watching now. We are now finished with our commentary window, and it is okay to close it. Click the X in the top right corner. Now, let's quickly recap what we know. If price crosses the trigger point of 1156, our Black 2 signal will be confirmed, and you can expect price to make a partial rebound and move all the way up to the projected target range of 1197 through 1223. However, if price falls after the trigger point has been crossed, then we're going to exit our trade at our defined exit point of 1122. Let's move forward in time and see if price crosses the trigger point. The next day, price crosses the trigger point, confirming our Black 2 signal. It is now safe to enter the trade, and you should expect price to hit our projected target range. Let's move forward in time again and see how the trade worked out. You can see here, price moved from our trigger point of 1156 and hit inside our projected target range, getting up to 1224 before pulling back. That's over 5% in 7 days. Now that's what I call a swing trade. Once you get used to all the features Black 2 has to offer, you'll be able to analyze trades in minutes. Remember, Black 2 is just one of 7 signals in the Endeavor add-on for Metastock. So don't forget to check out the videos on all the other signals. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and as always, if you have any questions, or if you have an idea for a tutorial that you think will help others, you can contact us at about@simplicitytradingsystems.com.